Today, I find out what happens when you train every muscle group twice a week for 30 days. Since I was on a light bulb, I decided to give it a try so you don't have to. From how much time it takes up, the amount of fatigue built, down to how much muscle did I gain, stay till the end to find out. But before you start, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. So why every muscle group twice a week? Is once not effective? Well, in my opinion, it really comes down to training style. Let me explain. I like the low volume, high intensity training approach, which means rather than doing a lot of sets for an exercise, I would rather do 2 hard sets of an exercise, which causes an issue because when I first started working out, I was exposed to only the bro split on how to create workout plans. For example, all my tricep exercises were crammed into one day. And towards the last few sets, the fatigue build-up really made me unable to push as hard as I like. That's why I decided to divide the same amount of sets throughout the week into 2 days using a push-pull leg approach. The idea behind this is since our muscles don't need 1 week apart to fully recover, I will be able to keep my current training style and still push as hard as I would like. But this is when I encountered my first challenge when remaking my whole routine. With so much exercises to juggle around, some exercises just didn't coexist well. For example, I want to do RDLs on the last day, but there are already deadlifts on that day, which didn't really make much sense since my deadlifts were definitely going to affect my RDL performance on that day. So I had to log in, but before that, we had to get our body test results from this in-body machine before we started this experiment. Then I started to remake my plan. I still kept the principle of putting compound movements at the start of the workout as opposed to putting at the end of the workout, cause they are more taxing and most likely will involve smaller muscles. Well, except for calf raises, cause I don't really want to skip them. After some time reorganizing and making changes, I finally finished remaking my plan. Though I did have to sacrifice the close grip bench presses, but it wasn't that big of a deal. My workouts definitely felt better and I could push to failure more regularly without affecting my exercises later on. But other than being so used to my old routine, which made me set up exercises just to put back the handles like an idiot, there were still some clashes, mainly between 3 exercises: the bench press, overhead press, and tricep exercises. You see, the main lift of that day is actually the bench press. So ideally, I didn't really want to put overhead presses and bench press back to back. But there was also a problem since after training triceps, overhead presses felt more like an exercise to use my triceps to stabilize the weight down. So I had to change from a dumbbell variation to a machine variation to solve stability issues. 2 leg days sounded good on paper, but mentally, it's kinda different. Now, after a whole month and 20 plus workout sessions later, I finally got my new body test results. But before this, we need some context. I'm currently on a light bulb, which is about 200 calories above maintenance, and I slept at least 7 hours daily while hitting 150 grams of protein every day. In a nutshell, the approach is to increase muscle mass without putting on too much fat. So how much muscle did I really put on? And did I make any significant gains just by training every muscle group twice a week? Comes down to this piece of paper. My body weight went from 68.7 kilograms to 69.4 kilograms. In terms of body fat percentage, it actually went down by 0.1%. As for the one thing we have all been waiting for, how much muscle did I really gain training every muscle group twice a week for a whole month? The answer is 0.3 kilograms for the whole month. Yes, 0.3 kilograms. For reference, since I started going on a slight surplus for the past few months, the average I gained on skeletal muscle mass was 0.1 kilograms to 0.3 kilograms per month. So in terms of muscle gain, it didn't really differ too much from my previous split. In terms of fatigue though, I really don't feel as affected by it at the end of every muscle group workout, which is great. So is training every muscle group twice a week really worth it? Is it a game changer? Well, probably not in terms of muscle gain and probably not in such a short time frame. It wasn't revolutionary, but it was more manageable. But there is one downside is that this split actually takes up 6 out of your 7 days per week. So if you're busy, this may not be the split for you. I would say that if you're in a similar situation to me, where using the bro split as you progress is creating too much unnecessary fatigue for just one day, then it's probably worth a shot. Comment down below on what else you want to watch me do, and as always, thanks for tuning in and I will see you in the next one.